Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel, Rockin' the Country. I'm Don, where I react to non-pop country music. And today, well, not today, but this particular reaction is absolutely no exception to that. George Jones, who some consider to be the king, others consider George Strait to be the king. You can decide that yourself. And others would say Hank Sr. All legitimate choices, so to speak. So, George Jones's I Must Have Done Something Bad is a gift request by George Woodruff, who I refer to as GW, because he asks me to react to a lot of George Jones stuff. He makes a lot of gifts to the channel for me to do George Jones because George Jones is George Woodruff's favorite country artist, and to eliminate confusion about who's doing the talking or what have you, I refer to George Woodruff as GW. So GW, thank you for this gift and request, my friend. And GW said this: Hey Don, GW back with another possum song request. Of course, it's a sad one. George is the king of sad. The song is I Must Have Done Something Bad. Thanks again, Don. All right, so here we go. Let's jump into this. And it's live, so from back in the day. Here we go.
I must have done something bad sometime in my life, and I paid for it time and again.
A lot of his songs are autobiographical.
But this time you've hurt me so bad, I wanna lay down and die. And the pain grows each day 10 times 10 times 10. If I thought my hand was against you, why I'd cut off my arm and walk on and leave it behind. If I thought that you needed money, well, I'd sell my own soul.
That'd be rough.
Steal from the poor and the blind.
I knew he was going to say blind. This isn't autobiographical. I don't know who wrote it, though.
I can't understand how ice can glitter like fire. I searched around for more, and now I've got nothing at all, and you're gone. I must have done something bad sometime in my life, and I paid for time and again.
All right.
And again.
That's one of those songs. I don't think that's autobiographical. That's one of those things that a lot of folks will say when things go really bad in their life, and they're like, or will say something like, I must have done something really wrong in a past life to have this happen to me now. Or I was talking with somebody a couple years ago, and her father wasn't a good dude. Like, there was no sexual abuse. It wasn't anything like that. It was just he was not a good dude and very demanding, didn't give anything to people. He just was judgmental, wasn't loud. He just didn't care about others. And I remember talking with her, and she made this she's like, I must have done something really bad in a past life to get a father like this. And it was a fair point. And because I knew the guy too. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't know it was that bad, but I get it. And it's one of those ways we look at things that, like, what did I do in my life to deserve this? It's the old, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It's kind of that mindset that we can carry with us, that if we've done something wrong over here, God or the universe, karma, is going to cycle back and get me. And, we forget, if I did something good back here in my life, something good's going to come back around on my behalf and make my life better. But when things go really bad, we're like, I don't see what I did to deserve this. Like, nothing in the present context warranted this response, this degree of pain, warranted her leaving in the case of this song. And I think that's what's being said here, because he's like, 10 times 10 times 10 is the pain that I'm feeling right now with you leaving me. And I would do all these good things. I would sell my soul. I would steal for money. If you needed money, I'd rob from the poor and the blind. If my hand offended you, I'd cut off my arm, type of thing, and walk away and leave it behind. And this is, and maybe he's overestimating his actual love and presence in the relationship. Sometimes we miss it. We think we mean well, and that is what's being seen, but we really would have seen our actions. Like, intentions matter. Sometimes we screw up and we didn't mean to do that. We didn't mean to forget to call you back or what have you. But our actions are what speak, by and large, over time. And we can lose sight of the fact that we're not being all of that. So GW, yeah, I mean, this is just classic George Jones having fun while performing, and I didn't understand all of what was going on, where he'd be looking or he sang a certain way and the audience kind of erupted. And sometimes things are just concert specific in that one show, that an artist develops a relationship for that one show, and sometimes it's over time with his whole fan base, and they understand what that particular thing might mean. But it was really fun to see George having fun, even with such a sad song. It was an unusual combination. I love the steel. I love the fiddle, of course. To me, that makes a country song. It doesn't make it a country song. It just, boom, makes it, like, for me, a full, loving, lovable country song. So I'm going to rate this one. And, the way George sings something, it's so hard. Like, I basically have to compare put it this way. When I rate a song, I know what goes on inside me. And it really has nothing to do with the artist's cachet, who they are. If a song and performance strikes me as something, that's what it strikes me as. And this one struck me as a 9.0. It's George Jones. It's just very tough to not be moved by something that he does, And to me, this was an average song, lyrically, but it still hit me on a certain level. So, GW, George Woodruff, thank you for this request again, my friend, and for the continual love of non-pop country music. And frequently that comes in the form of George Jones. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country.
You needed money, well, I'd sell my own soul.